friends. Is that strictly necessary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see why I never did podcasts with you lads over the lockdown. Anyway, hello and welcome. It's your old friends at Monday Madness. Welcome back to the return of the Jelly-Filled Donut podcast here on Monday Madness. And officially we can announce, because we didn't do these ahead of time, on the Low Blows Network.
Yeah.
Yes, finally we got picked up by a network, and it only took a pandemic for us to to do it. So how have your lockdowns gone, lads? It's been a while since we've been in the same room together.
It's been lockdown fun. It's been like great, locked in a tiny cardboard box of an apartment with just one other person and no one else from the outside world to talk to.
I could even tell the mood from James's beard. Like it's that's unnaturally big. Like no word of a lie. Like when I saw you the first time, I thought a fucking Tangela walked in. Like it's just state of you. Like I know you're waiting for the hairdresser to open up. Like, but Jesus Christ, man, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Like
I think he was going for the primate.
I think
They become tongue growth soon enough.
Yeah, exactly. Once you learn your ancient power, or whatever you say that, whatever the Nordy is for that. Anyway, Power, is it? Yeah. Age of Power? Alright, fair enough. Okay. Anyway, so in case you missed the first 3 episodes, we, here at Monday Madness, are watching through all the old episodes of the Pokémon cartoon series.
Which lockdown was actually good for.
Yeah, in fairness, yeah. I'd say the numbers were quite good. So we've been watching through all them. We've done the first 3 episodes.
So you don't have to.
Back. Please don't. Don't ruin the nostalgia for yourself, because it's a really bad idea. Because like when you're in this age now, you're going like, but where's the writing? Where's the character development? Oh wait, it's a cartoon series. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've watched the first 3 episodes. You can listen to them back on Low Blows Network or on our own feed, whichever suits you best. And we're now gonna kick back on with the episode called Challenge of the Samurai. Now that's not what it's
epic.
that's not what it's known as. This episode is known as the Metapod episode.
Oh no.
And I can't think of a better episode to start off again, lads, isn't it? Like this is what we came to see, like
epic battles of epic proportions. You just can't get any more epic than this episode.
Yes, it is the hardest battle in Pokemon history, quite literally.
We're hitting the ground running here with this. So.
We're hitting the ground hard.
Yes, that's more accurate. I wouldn't say running. There's no running involved in this episode, at least as the Metapods concerned. So let's kick off then. We have our opening credits.
Yep.
Credits, not credits, because I'm not Joe Pasquale. Quick recap of Ash's claim to glory, engaging Team Rocket, and we get our title screen. So the episode starts off proper with a shot of the forest being disrupted by Misty screaming and clung to a tree branch because she's convinced she's seen another bug. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Misty is meant to be a girl. And,
yes, and all girls hate bugs.
All girls hate bugs, yeah. That was actually proven over the lockdown. There was a study by Harvard that proved that 99% of girls hate bugs. So if you're in the 1%, well done. You're a freak.
I'm in the 1%.
Yeah.
Shockingly, I don't conform to that.
Yes.
So you would have liked Misty whenever you were a kid.
Yeah, because she was a girl, and we always kind of gravitate towards the
girl.
Yeah. She had a red bike. I had a red bike. She was practically me on screen.
Yes.
But then this bug thing came along, and I was like, "Well, fuck you."
Yeah, we can't relate now. We've lost that connection.
Yeah.
That's sad.
May as well support, Pikachu.
Yeah.
As my go-to character to identify.
And in fairness, like when you do boil it down, Pikachu is more of a feminist icon than Misty. If you do it by the numbers, there is actually evidence to that. So, we get our first bad joke of the episode, literally 10 seconds in, where Ash goes, "Oh, maybe it's a Caterpie," and he appears in a cow suit. Now, I'm not gonna say it's a bad joke. It is a bad joke, but the fact he's put so much effort and dressed up in the cow onesie for it. Like that does not work in reality.
Yeah.
Just trying to get into it first.
In the original Japanese version of the cartoon, would it have made sense?
I don't know. I'd like to think yes.
Listeners, get in touch if you speak Japanese.
If any weeaboos are listening, do the research for us and get back to us on Twitter.
Because we're not ours.
No, that's I don't know if that's coming across in the podcast. We really aren't. So Misty confirms the joke wasn't funny.
Even less funny for the Japanese audience, by the looks of it.
The artist there trying to critically. There's a Japanese equivalent of this podcast going like, "What was the cow about? Was it perhaps funny in English? I don't know. Let's ask the English." So So yes, it wasn't a
We're
funny
sure
joke.
shit not going to answer that.
In fairness, like, it works, alright? Subscribe to the Japanese podcast. I'm sure it's a lot better than this one. So yes, Misty spotted the Weedle, who was shimmy towards Ash, because, again, Ash likes bugs.
Yep. Because he's a boy.
He's a boy, exactly. So Misty screams to make it go away. So Ash obviously tries to catch it because that is his nature as a as a very skilled and experienced Pokemon trainer at this rate. 3 weeks in the job, he knows what he's doing now.
It's taken him 3 weeks to get this far.
It's 3 weeks to get him far, but he also then forgets, oh yeah, you have to weaken it. It's like, we were just here having the same conversation last week and the week before.
What if you were in the middle of playing your Pokemon Yellow and you are caught in a forest, you didn't know what you're doing?
I think you just run home, wouldn't
It's a
you?
good compendium for if you're playing the game and you're like just been hit in the head with a brick.
Okay, yeah. I didn't take into account the head trauma.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. In fairness, like we don't know what happens between the episodes. Maybe he does just have amnesia. We just don't develop it as a subplot. So Ash tries to call Pikachu for a battle, but it's taking its unionized break.
Yep.
Which is
Naps are great.
Naps are good. Naps are class. We can relate to that. In fairness. Again, I love that Missy tries to condescend Ash here when the Pikachu is just like, oh no, man, I'm not interested. Like, just there's other people here. Just go and ask them, right?
It's doing nothing to hurt anyone.
Yeah, exactly. During this, Weedle crawls up Misty's leg, and obviously she bolts, as is her nature. So Pidgeotto comes out and gusts the Weedle away. Misty storms away, complains about bug Pokemon again. And then at this point, so she's run away from Ash, right? And we get this shot of like a sword being unsheathed. And out comes this, like, I guess you can call him a kid dressed as a samurai. He's either a kid or a very small adult. I couldn't really quite tell from the way he was carrying himself.
Yeah, I think he's like one of those stunted growth teenagers who refuses to hang out with the kids his own age.
So he's a nonce, is what you're trying to say.
Well, yeah, I think we can agree on that regardless.
Like, he's dressed as a samurai and living in a shed by himself in the forest.
That is very suspect.
Playing with bugs.
Yeah. You see, he kind of struck me more of a white knight than anything else. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's about 3 or 4 miladies on the scale. You know, not the full scale now, because he would have had the fedora for that.
Yeah.
But it's fairly close to the mark, like. So the reason Samurai confronts, and he is just called Samurai, by the way.
Yeah. No actual name.
No actual name, because he doesn't need that sort of baggage, apparently. So Samurai's looking for a trainer from Pallet Town. Okay, so obviously I think at this point he says, like, oh yeah, I've battled all the other ones from Pallet Town. There's one more to battle, and I want to see, are all of them good? Boy, he's going to be disappointed. He also warns Misty not to scream because it'll attract Beedrills, and that's a very important plot point for later on.
Yeah.
So we will put a very big pin on that.
Just to point out as well, he has lost against the other 3 trainers from Pallet.
Yes, he has.
There wasn't supposed to be a 4th. Like, there wasn't supposed to be a Pokemon for the 4th trainer.
No, there wasn't.
So he is possibly waiting for a year in that forest unless Ash happens to come along.
Maybe he's been told, like, you know, it's like, yeah, no, we got 3 on the way in. Oh, that's good. Well, actually, there's technically 4. There's this little kind of like, there's a kid who's like, he's not the full shilling. He's trying his best. So if he can just act like he's a trainer, it'll do us a lot of good. Like, so in any case, Pidgeotto dodges a poison string from Weedle, gets another gust. So this is working out quite well. He's about to throw the ball, and the Samurai intervenes with his big overcompensating sword.
Shonen protagonist speech.
Indeed. Ha! And then it goes up widescreen, cherry blossoms all over the place. You know, goes full Kurosawa on us. Kurosawa even. So Samurai asks him if he's from Pallet Town. Misty tries to intervene. Samurai has drawn his sword and challenges Ash to a Pokemon battle.
As you do.
As you do. Weedle has run away at this point, as much as Weedle can run away. He tries to catch it but misses, and this then gives Ash the motivation to battle the Samurai. Because Samurai then decides to chat shit about Ash's throwing arm, which I suppose you would take offense to if you're a Pokemon trainer. Like, that's kind of your main cut and thrust, isn't it?
But we also know that Ash is just shit at everything, so like he's just taking personal attacks on that. Like,
I do think Samurai is trying to neg Ash.
Just
like, it's just
like a little bit of niggle,
you're so bad at throwing that.
Watch this.
Like,
throws a sword.
Exactly. So he wasn't fighting anything to get Misty.
No, yeah, maybe he was trying to like assert his male dominance.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe, which is why he hangs out in the forest with bugs.
Yeah.
Maybe he was told that he's not allowed to come home until he takes off that stupid costume, and
never did.
Never did.
Yeah, and somehow was able to build a. Maybe the cabin was already there. He just commandeered it.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
We don't see much of the cabin. In fairness, it's always in the dark, so there could be just like a dead old man in the corner rotting away. It's just like
with samurai sword wounds.
Yeah, it makes so much sense now. So yes, Ash is going into the battle. Pidgeotto comes out, but it's asleep because
his union nap.
Yeah, his union nap. But he's also just had a very serious battle with Weedle. He gusted twice, and that just sucks the energy out of the bird, like, you know. So again, Misty has to remind Ash. You know, Pokemon need a rest too. Because apparently Misty's a union leader all of a sudden.
He already did something today.
He's done 2 things. That's more than enough. This doesn't stop Samurai though bringing out his Pokemon, which is a Pinsir, which is a pretty big deal Pokemon. Yeah, to bring out so early in this series. But Ash keeps Pidgeotto out anyway. Obviously, like woken from his nap, maybe screamed enough in its ear for it to wake up. And then we get our first battle of the show. So to break it down, we have Pidgeotto uses Sound Attack first of all on the Pinsir, who replies with a tackle and knocks out Pidgeotto point blank. Just done. So obviously Pidgeotto was in the low health system.
Really did a number on it.
Yes, it certainly did.
Stress how tough that movie was. Battle for the ages.
It was like level 40 Weedle or something.
Yeah, I had to laugh. I don't know if you've ever heard of Pokemon Blue Kaizo.
Yes.
Yeah, every now and then you'll get like a level 100 Pokemon when you're in a region that isn't supposed to be, where it's like a Weedle or a Metapod or something. And it's just, the only reason it's designed there is just to say, haha, fuck you, level 100 Pokemon. And then it's just like, it just works you over with like poison stings.
Aww.
It's cruel. It's a cruel game, don't play it. It's not, don't. I played it for hours, it's wrong. It's wrong on all levels. So, that knocks out Pidgeotto. Metapod comes out next for Ash. And this is the bizarre thing, right? He's kind of hamstrung with his Pokemon choice because Pikachu has decided not to work today.
Yeah.
It's paid leave apparently. So
he booked it well in advance.
He did, in fairness. Now, yeah. Like the one thing about Pokemon trainers is that they have their holiday cards locked down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Metapod is the only choice. But even as he's doing this, Ash imagines Pinsir being crushed or crushing Metapod.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty morbid thing for it to be in the cartoon, because you do see it actually crush the thing into 2 pieces, like. And it looks like Ash's imagination is going to come true. Pinsir lunges at Metapod, and Ash tells him to use Harden. So Pinsir tries to, as is his nature. Pinsir Metapod doesn't, and it crushes its pins instead. Again, you'd be shocked to hear that's not what Harden does, but either way, it's a cartoon. Let's get over it. So Samurai withdraws Pinsir, and now comes another Metapod.
And so it begins!
And so it begins. Metapod uses Harden. Metapod uses Harden. Metapod uses Harden. Maximum Harden. Harden harder. And we literally just see time passing, and Misty and Pikachu are out sunbathing on deck chairs.
Oh yeah.
Like that battle may have gone on so long that he went to the local garden centre and just set up shop for the week, like. Because we don't actually know for sure like how long they've been there. We just know that some time has passed.
Yeah.
Could have been days, for all we know. In fact, they were there so long, both of them seized up and fell over, which I think is technically muscular atrophy. So yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a sign that you should go to hospital.
Potentially, yeah. Like I said, there's stubbornness, and then there's just generally being too stupid to move, and that's what we got there.
From both
of them, yeah. So, we're going to switch down before we move on to battle mode and tell you how it should have happened. So, Samurai at this point has a Pinsir and Metapod, right? So I've done the maths, and we think Pinsir is less than level 25, right? Reason being is because it knows only 2 moves, which is Tackle and Vice Grip. It doesn't know anything else, so we think it's lower than that. Metapod, on the other hand, obviously is less than 12 because it's still a Metapod and only knows Harden. Now, here's the fun part, right? If you guys have ever played a game, because again, this segment is kind of taking the game logic and applying it here, Ash's Metapod would have an advantage here because it's evolved from Caterpie.
Yeah, it would have tackle and string shot for Caterpie. So it would actually have an offensive move
Precisely, yeah.
that he could use. Why doesn't he?
I know. This is the bizarre part.
Why?
So, as we were saying there, Ash's duo is Pidgeotto, which we think is level 18 because of the Gust and Quick Attack moves. Metapod then, as we established, is evolved from Caterpie, so we know it learns Tackle and String Shot.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ash has either forgotten about it or Metapod has chosen not to because it's reached its kind of
He
like...
just has like a, hit list of hardens. Like every move he's learned has been forgotten and replaced with harden.
just harden,
Like
harden,
he's just
harden.
used a load of TMs on him just to learn harden. So he only has that option.
Yeah.
I also hate when my Metapod glitches. It's a really bad thing. So yes, our battle would start with Pidgeotto, with Pinsir versus Pidgeotto. James, I don't know what your input on this would be. Would you reckon Pinsir would beat Pidgeotto?
So, kind of does come down to Gen 1. Gust is a normal move, not a flying move.
Yes,
and
exactly.
that's kind of what the crux of it will come down to.
Yeah.
So if it's a flying move, if it counts as a flying move, Pidgeotto is the safe bet out. By and large, Tackle and Vice Grip shouldn't kill a Pidgeotto.
No.
Even with that level difference. If it's a normal move, then it's sheerly down to level difference. Pinsir could well have the advantage in that.
Could well have the advantage, yeah. So I've been kind of say Pinsir would win there, but it would be a bit attritional. Like Pinsir would be on low health. So I'd be inclined to say that like Pidgeotto would get it to basically like low health.
He'd get a hit or two in before it ended.
Because Vice Grip is a fairly tough move at that level too. Yeah. So like you could argue obviously Pidgeotto would have the speed advantage as well with Sand Attack and Quick Attack. So you strategize around it and maybe beat Pinsir that way.
Yeah.
But I think like one or two Vice Grips would kill off Pidgeotto at that point. So then in that case we would be left with Pinsir versus Metapods, which is the interesting part. Now you could potentially like harden. But again, Pinsir would have a win here.
Pinsir would have the win.
Yeah, like sure.
That should be an over at that stage.
Yeah, exactly. So we would reckon then the Samurai would have won this outright because the Pinsir was so powerful.
No, if the Pinsir was about level 18 as well.
Now that does decide things. Like it does depend on where we interpret Pinsir to be.
Yeah.
So if it's a lower leveled, then again you could say that Pidgeotto might have won.
Yeah.
And then would have swept away Metapods.
Yeah. It all basically comes down to around that.
Yeah. So we can't really make a call on this. It's kind of a catch 'em really. It's like either both of them could have won essentially.
Or Ash actually just kicked Pikachu and sent him out into fucking battle.
That alternatively could be the case as well.
Yeah.
It just kind of shows you how unprofessional that Pikachu
Throw in
is.
a pair of rubber gloves, literally pick up Pikachu and fuck him.
Fuck him at the Pinsir and get crushed to death. So yes, we think it was basically a 50-50. Let's call it a stalemate for now. Because that's
what happened.
That's what happened, exactly. So we cut to Team Rocket walking in a soapbox tank to apparently protect themselves from beetle stings. Don't ask me how that works, considering that their legs are still exposed, but...
I mean, have you ever, just sheerly the angle that they'd have to get in at would be difficult. So, yeah,
if a wasp wants to sting you, it will sting you.
Yes, it will find a way. If it stings you on the big toe, it will do it. If you have one
tougher to aim at.
I guess. I don't know. So Meowth is on lookout here because it's too lazy to. Well, it's not necessarily too lazy to walk. It physically can't contribute to walk in the soapbox because it's too small. So it's either just going like fucking Fred Flintstone, like flopping away, like it's not going to work. So
but he can walk alongside and they don't have to carry him.
Potentially, he's like fucking 16 pounds. He's a tiny cat.
Cats are assholes.
Cats are assholes. We have established that, especially when you have a New Jersey accent.
And all that money he could throw,
he can throw money at the bees.
I'd say he's used payday just to make them taxi him around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Shit, that makes complete sense. So
solved it.
That's how Team Rocket make all their money. They just get me out to just go petty. Oh, rake it in, lads. So he gets bumped off anyway by the two Team Rocket members. All the while the Metapod battle is continuing. Mm-hmm. Both trainers are falling over and they've seized up. And then we get a buzzing noise from the forest. The samurai says it's a swarm of Beedrill. He is correct.
Yep.
They postpone the battle, and all the while this massive swarm of bugs goes in, Ash goes, "Hang on, what is that?" It's like, we just told you it's a swarm of Beedrill. Yeah, I know, but hang on, give us a minute. I do want the Pokédex to just go, it's a swarm of Beedrill. Get the fuck out of here.
No, before we judge him, how many people today would see a swarm of bees and be like, oh, I have to get this for my Instagram?
That says more about influencers than more than anything else.
I think that says just as much about, like, yeah, people will stand and, like, stand their mouth open as danger comes right at them.
Yes, and that's why we have the Darwin Award.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So, the samurai runs away, but because Ash was so lax with trying to scan a fucking bee for his collection, one of the Beedrill steals Metapod. And Ash tries to catch it, misses every shot, and Metapod is gone. Pikachu then shocks one other Beedrill, catches Ash by accident. Well, I say by accident. Missy then takes Ash and runs. Ash is completely concerned about Metapod. And we get our outbreak.
Yep.
So, obviously we don't actually have ads on this because we're on a network, but we are still going to serve as a break to do our Who's That Pokemon round.
Who's that Pokemon?
Do-do-do.
Who's that Pokémon?
I don't even need a jingle for that, that's great. I still will anyway, just for the crack.
Oh.
Duplication is a really good thing in the podcast. So, if you're not familiar with this,
It's a really good thing in the podcast.
repetition is very good in a podcast, I think you'll find.
If I try and say it, I'll fuck it up. So.
Anyway, if you're not familiar with the segment, one of us is going to give details on a mystery Pokemon, and it's up to the other two to decide what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You get maximum points if you get it the first time around, and every time you miss out, you lose points essentially
Cool.
until you get nothing. At the minute, James, you're leading 7-5.
Ooh.
I am on 0, and it's my twist, which means I can't get any points here.
Yeah.
No pressure then. Okay, so we'll start off as always with the Dex entry. Spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders, known to cause forest fires unintentionally.
I'll give you the first guess.
Magmar.
Going for Magmar?
Alright, I probably would have gone for Magmar myself, but since I can't do that, Charmeleon.
You're both wrong. So you're down to 4 points here. Not much of a clue. I will give you a clue. One of its signature move is Fire Spin.
Okay.
That's gonna sell it for you. So do I just...
No, go on ahead.
Fire spin. Try to... I'm struggling here. This is a good one.
Like, how many fire type
I'm trying to think of
Kantos
fire
are
types that accidentally set fire to forests. Fire spin.
Well, this is according to the Dex entry. I don't think it's been witnessed causing forest fires, but we'll take its word.
Charizard?
You want to go for Charizard, James?
Flareon.
Go for Flareon. Well, one of you is correct. And the answer is Charizard.
Yes!
Charizard was the correct answer. That means, Burtboy, you go into the lead.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you are now at 9-7.
Okay.
Well done. Very well done. Okay.
Did you know it?
No, I was.
You were very close to Charmeleon. I felt kind of bad for you there.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't get it. Didn't get it.
I wouldn't mind. Like, I was actually being quite nice there because my second clue was going to be it's red, and the two of you was going to go. We fucking know it's red. It's a fire type. So.
Also, he's colorblind, so that actually wouldn't help.
Oh shit! Yeah, you would have got it anyway then.
Yeah.
Could still be Bellsprout.
I'm still sensing Tangela. I don't know what it is. It's just in my head today.
Strokes his tongue.
Please don't use that again. Tangela is a problematic Pokemon. Okay, moving on then to the second half of the show, and our scene starts off with a panting samurai, which is how every good scene should start. Running away from the swarm with Misty and Ash close behind.
Can we make that the opening for the podcast?
What, a panting samurai?
Oh yeah.
I'll have to commission someone to be a panting samurai. I can work it out. Yeah, we can. Rick Nash can get us a panting samurai. He's got connections. It's good. So the samurai takes a turn into the bushes. Everyone follows, and the swarm continues on the path because Beedrill are really dumb, apparently.
Yeah.
They have
Scooby-Doo villain syndrome.
pretty much, yeah. Or like Metal Gear Solid, like guard detection. It's like, oh, whose footprints are these? And they just walk in a circle.
Yeah.
So
well, I'll just keep going on my path.
Buzz. So they take a breath, but they notice a whole lot of cocooners on the tree, or cacooners if you prefer. And everyone notices there's a Metapod on the tree, which, as we all know, is not a cacuna, so it doesn't belong there. So once they realise what they are, Ash screams out for Metapod, and the cacooners start hatching. And shockingly, out comes another swarm of Beedrills. So they get chased by... Now there's a second wave of Beedrills they just called upon. So they're running again. Samurai sees his cabin and runs toward it. So they get in just in time before the Beedrills punch holes in it. Which,
as you know, that shows how strong their Beedrill actually is.
Yes,
So Team Rocket's tank is not going to do much good there.
No, I don't think it will.
No.
But
it might confuse the Beedrill that it's actually a taxi ferrying around a cat.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, we'll leave that.
Yeah, it's like the Borg out of Star Trek. They don't see it as a threat.
Yeah.
Just like we'll just move on.
Yeah.
So the cabin is pitch dark, which I love, by the way, because the Beedrill clearly punched holes in the cabin, right? The next scene shows the cabin from the outside and it looks fine. Yeah. There's no holes, it's not broken down or anything like that. It's just the Beedrill just went, oh, sorry, we'll just fix that.
Yeah.
And just move on then. So it's pitch dark, right? And Samurai takes off his gear, totally not suspicious at all. And Samurai chastises Ash then for abandoning his Metapods. And he compares them to the other panel trainers about how much better they are than him. You know, because like Gary wouldn't have abandoned the Metapod. In fact, he wouldn't have caught a Metapod at all.
Gary wouldn't have forgotten his Metapod has an offensive move.
Exactly. He's just breaking down he's just got like the official trainer's guide for the game going, right, this is how it works. I want you to write this down. And then so forth. So, Samurai praises all the other three trainers. We get kind of like snippets of like, is a Charizard versus, or Charmander versus Pinsir, and like Squirtle putting Metapod in a bubble because that's great strategy. Because the only way to contain a Metapod from hardening is to put it in a bubble, as we all know. It is scientific fact. It
worked.
It's a common strategy. You should see it in the competitive play. It happens all the time. And then Bulbasaur got its vines out and turned Pinsir upside down because it can do that.
So you see that the Samurai isn't very good either because he's losing out to all of these other trainers, you know, quite heavily, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
It also shows that he has some sort of revives and potions around by him, and yet he's not dishing out the help to help them with the Beedrill.
That's true, yeah.
Point out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of, it really shows how incompetent Ash is.
Exactly. Especially when you have like relative incompetence in a samurai who's not even a real samurai.
Yeah.
Not even a real trainer. He's just essentially a gatekeeper in cosplay. That's essentially what he is, isn't he? Like.
Yeah.
He's a gatekeeper in more than one thing. You can imagine he's like a massive nerd of something, and if you bring it up, he'll just like go, "No,
bugs.
It's completely wrong." Yeah, bugs. Yeah. He's like, "No, it's wrong. They don't have." Never mind. So, after all this chastising, the samurai has apparently been waiting for the other Palatown trainers to arrive to see who's the best. Guess it's fair to say Ash isn't going to win that particular round. So after all this arguing and complaining, they just decide to go asleep in the cabin. You know. Unfortunately enough for Ash and Misty, they have both sleeping bags, whereas the samurai sleeps on a blanket that's relatively stained. We won't go into further details on that.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
No. Fun fact, by the way, if you saw a close up on Ash's sleeping bag when he's kind of staring out into the night, going like, "Oh, I wonder if my Metapod is defected." It has Satoshi written on his sleeping bag, which is his Japanese name. Fun fact, yeah. So sunrise breaks and the Metapod is still there on the tree, thinking about what he did, what life choices he had to get to this point.
Why didn't he just tell me to fucking tackle?
So I know I can tackle. I have it in me, but why does he not let me do it? Is it me? Is it him? Oh, it's so complicated.
Day 2 with the Kakuna. They still have not noticed I'm not one of them.
They have suspected me as one of their own. I'm learning Poison Sting. I feel so naughty. So Ash tries to sneak up then on the tree, and Meowth stamps on his head.
As you do.
Because cats do that. Cats are bastards.
Yeah, cats. That is like zoologically correct.
Yes.
This is the first time I can say this about the show.
Mm-hmm.
Is that cats will, if given the chance, land on your head.
Yeah, it's actually one of the 3 rules of life that our friend Neil of Monday Madness, you should go and subscribe, tells us all the time. Yeah. And actually, they're actually really good rules to live by. Right, first rule is all doggos are good boys,
yes.
Which is scientific fact. Rule 2 is foxes are not dogs, but are also good boys.
Yes.
That's that's peer reviewed. It's fact. And the most important rule is cats can fuck off.
Yeah.
And we can all agree on that. That is certifiably true. Meowth then scratches Ash in the face again, proving rule 3 even more. Team Rocket then this is their opportune time for Team Rocket to try their motto, right? But Ash interrupts, saying, "Don't scream or don't shout, don't even do the motto because it'll upset the Beetle." Yeah, don't even try it. No song lyrics. No, Beetle are very sensitive to references. You have to understand. So they don't listen anyway because it's like, oh, she's a 10-year-old left, whatever. So once they
we're cool, we're gonna say our long ass motherfucking motto
that we don't even know properly.
Yeah.
Because we're the smart kids. So yes, that wakes up the swarm of Beedrill. But Team Rocket are still playing hardball here. They still want the Pikachu, right?
Yep.
So so Ash has got a master plan here, right? He's going to charge towards the swarm, try and duck underneath them, and then they'll obviously target Rocket instead because that's how they work. You know, like they're actually
once they're on a path, they're not diverting from it.
Yeah.
Do they not understand how 3-point turns work?
apparently it is one thing about Beedrill is that it can only move in straight lines. Once you break their lines, it can't turn. Please make a buzz when safe. So yes, a combat roll takes him past the swarm, and they now chase after Team Rocket. So Rocket go, aha, but our soapbox tank will protect us, except it's being chewed by Weedles.
Yeah.
Because it's made out of fucking paper.
Yeah.
Shockingly. Who knew that this system would not work? So obviously Team Rocket go running off, blasting off as they do.
Yep.
Which is where we come in. So it's time for another segment, which we call What Should Rocket Do?
Not have a tank made out of paper to begin with.
That is a good start, yes.
So, some things with the plan are okay. Having a tank is not a bad idea if the Beedrills are attacking them. Get away from getting stung at the knees by squatting down.
Yes.
Assuming that the tank can withstand a Beedrill.
This is it. So
So
our scenario is from the start, because again, this segment is about us taking what Team Rocket has done and going, no, we can do it better. Here's how we would catch Pikachu, or whatever they're looking for in that episode. So in this case, Pikachu is their target, right? So the scenario is Ash is trying to get his Metapod back that's snuggled in with a tree of Kakunas and sleeping Beedrills with Weedles nearby. Ash's Pikachu is back in the cabin with the Samurai and Misty. So Pikachu's not even here is the key part. So, open suggestions. What should Rocket do?
Okay. As I have established, Nyaka's payday. There are a swarm of bees. Throw the coins at the bees. Stun them.
Okay.
And that gives you a chance to break away and run to the cabin and get your Pikachu.
Okay, so you're basically neutralizing the swarms with money.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very capitalist idea.
Very
I like
it.
Yeah,
Me.
interesting.
Not
yeah.
like me now.
No, I can see you were actually quite uncomfortable even suggesting that. Yeah,
Ugh.
it could work. It feels unclean now. What about yourself, James?
kind of in the same vein, capture a couple of Beedrill. Try to use a swarm for your own advantage.
Yeah.
So if you can stun the Beedrill, if you can aggravate the Beedrill and lead them to Ash,
Yes.
that would be my main idea.
Strategy, yeah.
So kind of like what Ash did with the Beedrill, where they were aggravated coming to attack him, and he diverted them.
Yes.
Used that exact tactic against.
Okay, that's
Ash.
interesting. Because that's what I was going to suggest. There's a scene at the end of the episode where they're kind of like wrapped up in like Kakuna-like suits.
Yeah.
So I was saying, like, well, hang on, did the Kakuna make that, or did they have that like?
Was that
already?
like the leftover from the tank?
It could have been actually, yeah. That actually makes a lot more sense now. Okay, so how about this, right? The paper they would have had from the soapbox tank, right? They use as Kakuna disguises, right?
Okay.
They disguise themselves in the tree, right? As Kakunas. Now, Ash, remember, is stupid.
Yeah.
Okay? Really stupid.
He would fall for this.
He would fall for this. So simply,
He'd be like, whoa, a big Kakuna, I'm gonna catch that.
then you cut your string and land on him, knock him
Yeah.
out. And then you simply bum rush the cabin, take the Pikachu and leg it. Because Ash has been
you have-
neutralised and the two of them are still asleep.
You have Samurai to deal with.
Samurai. Can't even get his Metapod done right. He's not a fucking threat.
Give him, like, time out and stand in the corner with that dead man.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that's my plan.
I like my narrative of this story.
We have added maybe a bit less to the log cabin, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my strategy. We're gonna masquerade as Kakuna when time it so that when Ash is like looking for Beedrill. Obviously, position yourself above the Metapod because that's the lure, right?
Yeah.
So you're there as Kakuna's right when he's there. Cut your ropes and land on him. Obviously, that'll knock him out, maybe paralyze him, even better. And you can just go and get the Pikachu and leg it. Job done.
I do like your idea.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very Team Rocket thing to do.
Trojan Kakuna is what we're going with there. Yeah.
Go with that.
Okay. Yeah. Happy. That will do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyway, so Ash tries to get Metapod back in the ball, but Metapod goes, "No, I am now Kakuna." It's like, no, you're Metapod. He's like, "I've been here 2 days."
This isn't Dances with Wolves.
It's kind of what he says so much in his eye glance. It's just like, oh no, I found my better life now. It is here on this tree.
Buzz, motherfucker.
You don't understand their culture. I do. I am it.
When it becomes a Butterfree, it'll just keep trying to poke people with its hands.
Oh dear. So yes, one last Beedrill is after Ash. Ash tries to blame the samurai on abandoning Metapod. Somehow, like in some sort of weird like Freudian slip, he falls over and then goes, "Oh, it is my fault. I'm so clumsy. I just left my Metapod behind." And obviously Metapod is very receiving to this sort of like admission of guilt.
Yeah.
And so Misty, Pikachu and the Samurai appear with this kind of weird net apparatus, which I assume is what they've been doing all this time in the cabin.
That they've been making.
They've been making this apparently, yeah. Because obviously they were preparing for this like strategy of Ash to wake up at like 7 a.m. and try and tackle Beedrill by himself.
I would have thought that Samurai had that the whole time.
You'd like to think so, but why didn't he bring it with him then?
Because
if he
it's
knew there was
Samurai.
Beedrill around.
Because it's Samurai.
He's not out to collect Beedrill, he's out to collect names of Palatown.
True, yeah. That's a good point. I just feel like there's a stupidity all around here in this episode. The more I look at it. So the Beedrill is attacking. Metapod then leaps like the knight in shining armor.
So it can tackle.
It can tackle. It just proved to Ash it can.
That's literally, it's like, see what I could have done!
How do you like me, Daddy?
I finally ran out of hardened moves.
He had one left. Used it. Okay, fuck that shit. Struggle. So he hits the Beedrill, breaks one of its pongs, but the side effect is that Metapod has been stabbed, which is it's a bad shame. It's terrible when that happens. Can't say it's happened to me myself, but
Ash learned his lesson. He is a terrible trainer, and he went home.
End of the series.
End of the series. You didn't get past the fourth pilot, shockingly. No, in fairness, what happens is Metapod evolves into Butterfree. You can just kind of just poking out of the carcass, and Butterfree flies around delighted with itself. It is happy, it's out of its shell, it's come out, if you will, from being whatever it was as Metapod. So yeah, this seems to be a happy time for everybody as Ash realises, oh, it knows moves, use one of them, and that is Sleep Powder. So Butterfree floats around, sprinkles powder over everyone, and literally everyone falls asleep. The two forms of Beedrill, Team Rocket, apparently the Samurai and Misty were out of range, so they're fine.
Oh no, they were under a net.
Oh, they were under the net, yeah. The nets do protect yourself from powder, yeah. That's what they were designed for, actually. So yes, Ash is delighted. The Samurai is impressed because, you knew a move that your Pokemon may have learned. You really are smart.
I'm surprised you didn't have to go to the decks for that.
In fairness.
It could have been heavily edited, in fairness. It could have been like, if we saw the director's cut, you might have said like, Sleep Powder!
So Ash caught a Beedrill then?
No, he didn't. That was the thing. He should have, though.
Sleep.
Yeah, he should have, yeah. He could have had like 30 Beedrills.
That would be a pretty decent team to go in with.
Yeah.
Like,
could you imagine rocking up to Pewter City with an actual a swarm of Beedrill at your side?
Yeah.
Against an Onyx.
Yeah. Fucking...
I know, 30 Beedrill versus one Onyx that is afraid of water sprinklers.
Yeah.
Onyx throws a rock. It's still game over.
Throws a rock against 30 Beedrill. Like, what's he aiming for? Like, you have heard of double team, haven't you?
You don't have to aim when there's 30 of them.
They're bees! They're just all over the shop. They're flying everywhere. Come on,
Couple
man.
of sleep powders, couple of poison sticks.
Beedrill doesn't know sleep powder.
Twin needles then. Pin missile. Just pure attrition. Just like 30 pin missiles all in one go. Eventually that fucker's going down. So, exactly, yeah. So the samurai sees them off then to the trail that leads them to Pewter City. Ash offers to restart that match, but the samurai goes, no, we're not doing that again. So hopefully there won't be another Metapod match, because if there is, the show will actually be cancelled.
Yep.
So as we said, the narrator plays us out, but yet we get our post-credit scene, which is Team Rocket cocooned in the Cocoon tree, which I didn't realise they were that old to cocoon, but fair enough. The bickering wakes up the Beedrill and they get stung again to play us out. What hilarity. Let's hope none of them are allergic to it. And that's the end of our episode, yeah. This is kind of one of the more infamous episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
it's obviously played for laughs a little bit, because they've kind of established that Ash is completely, like...
Horrendous.
He's horrendous, but he's a young child, like, trying to, like, understand how Pokemon work, even though he's a mega fan. And then suddenly, like, you get the samurai who, I guess maybe is like Ash a year ahead.
Like the 10-year-old kids that we were when Pokemon were out would have known all of these stats because we looked up at it and we were obsessed with it. And if we had the chance to go out into the real world and be Pokemon trainers, we would be infinitely more knowledgeable.
Yeah, we'd have taken over the world by 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the way I think of it is like, all the kids our age knew like pretty much every footballer in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And there is no way that you would go out into the world saying I'm going to be a professional footballer and have no knowledge of how to play football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what this is the equivalent of.
Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it? Like, it's all going well, like, being able to, like, if you're like an armchair Pokemon trainer, fair enough. But then when you start going into the goal and you realise you can't throw balls for shit, then yeah, I suppose that does kind of like, that does knock your pride a little bit, doesn't it? So yes, we'll end up this episode then with going through our Pokédex. We have 5 new entries for you. They're very quick though, thankfully, because we're all bugs, and we all know that bugs are quite dull. They're icky. They are icky. I didn't want to say it, but they are icky. And we'll start off with the ickiest one, I suppose, which is Weedle, which is obviously one of the weakest Pokemon out there. If you're playing Generation 1, if you have a Weedle and you come up against a Steel type, you're officially fucked.
Yep.
You can't do any damage to it, because its only move is Poison Sting, String Shot, and that's it. It doesn't do anything else. So yeah, bad luck there. Unless you want to use Struggle, but that's just not fair. They did actually fix that in
Gen 1 they didn't have Steel type, did they?
No, but if you... Sorry, yes, in Gen 2, yeah. Gen 2 and Gen 3. Checkmate. But yes, it would have been a fun time for everybody involved. Weedle's obviously inspired by caterpillars, as you kind of got from the design, but they're all supposed to be wasp larvae as well, which is why it's obviously gone from like Weedle to Beedrill. Yeah. And shockingly, you might think that the name origin, yes, it is a combination of the words worm and needle.
Yeah.
Shockingly. Those Japanese lads, they're clever. They're clever dicks. So, let's move on to something far more interesting, which is Pinsir. Big fan of Pinsir's design, I'm not going to lie. I really do like it.
Yeah.
A bit of a shame they never really went anywhere with Pinsir, you know, in the same way they did with Scyther.
They gave it a Mega in Gen 6.
Yeah.
They gave it a rivalry with Heracross from Gen 2 onwards.
They did too, didn't they?
So, yeah, they did something with it. Whether or not you like it, that's a different question.
Well, the reason I say that is because, fun fact by the way, if anyone doesn't know, Pinsir was meant to have an evolved form in Generation 2. It was called Plux. I actually have a picture of it here if you want to have a gander. There you go.
Ah, okay.
Right? So it kind of has like, so Plux is kind of like, has like a third prong on the, where the Pinsir is. And I suppose it's like, I think the idea of it is, and I'm not too sure if this is correct or not, but it was meant to be like a Metal Coat evolution like Scizor was.
Yeah.
So you had a choice of Scyther, Scizor or Pinsir Plux. But as far as I know, in the beta it was still just a bug type, because they didn't get around to like, do you want another bug steel type or do you want bug electric, which I think was what it was touted as. And then the bug electric thing eventually got kind of like recast in as Vikavolt in Gen 7, which is kind of convenient considering that both of them are Stag Beetle Pokemon. Yeah. So kind of interesting how like the idea kind of like persisted after a while. Yeah, it was kind of funny because that generation Gen 7 like Sun and Moon did kind of recycle a lot of those kind of like beta Pokemon ideas, and
Yeah.
Plux was kind of one of them, I suppose.
Executor is another.
Executor, yeah, exactly. But yeah, not much else to Pinsir. It is a massive attack stat, as you would guess, and fuck all
Way
else.
too good for that point in the game.
Yes, almost certainly. If you got a Pinsir in the Viridian Forest, ho ho ho, you are having a good time. Or maybe you're not, if it's a trainer, in fairness. So yes, our next one is on our list is Kakuna, which we saw next. Shockingly, this is the Metapod equivalent of Weedle and Beedrill.
Yeah.
Did you know it has arms?
Yeah, that was from the original.
Mr.
sprite of it.
Burns' hand.
It has Mr. Burns' hands, yeah. From the original like artwork from Ken Sujimori,
Yeah.
it does actually have arms, and it's just that.
just retreats them.
Yeah, it's like yes. That's what it has this kind of weird like it's like almost like T-Rex arms in a way,
Yeah.
but like on the shoulder, so they're like arms up here for some reason. But yeah, they're it doesn't look right with arms. I'm not gonna lie,
No,
like it doesn't look right.
It looks so strange.
Yeah, because even I think like when they were making it for the cartoon, they didn't have any Kakuna with arms. They just took the design from like the game, I guess, and just said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, this makes more sense."
Yeah.
But then people are going like, "Well, how does a poison sting?" I was like, "Because it has arms."
Yeah.
I feel like we missed the point.
It's kind of pointier anyway, that you could kind of say that it stings you with the point of its shell.
And perhaps maybe like spits out like a needle of some kind, like you
Yeah.
know, from the bottom of it maybe. But that's just pure conjecture from our point of view.
Yep.
So next up then is its evolved form, which is Beedrill, and would you believe, lads, it's based off a wasp.
What?
Yes, I know, it's betrayed you. It's actually based off the giant hornet, Asian giant hornet,
Yes.
and if you even look at it, it looks the actual image of it, like that's clearly Beedrill. Like
Yeah.
it has like a hard shell. They kind of
It's like the murder hornet.
yeah, the
Yeah,
murder hornet.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Just showing already there.
Oh yeah.
You see.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's actually the design of it is actually quite on the nose. In fairness, for a Pokemon like it, Beedrill's okay. Like it would have been actually good if in the original games they had any bug type moves that weren't
Yeah.
shite. You know.
That was basically because Psychic was too good.
Yes.
Because it was Bug's the only thing that's good against Psychic.
And Ghost.
No, they programmed it wrong in Gen 1.
You're right. They fixed that in Gen 2. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Gen 1, Psychic was the only thing that could hit it was Bug.
Yeah.
And Twin Needle was the only Bug move.
And Pin Missile, as I recall.
Pin Missile as well.
Yeah.
But Jolteon was the only one that got
Jolteon could get Pin Missile. I think a few other like bug Pokemon could get Pin Missile. Beedrill was actually one of them, as I recall. But yeah, like it was kind of the only reason to use it, but because it was a bug poison type, it was still going to get murdered by a psychic type. So it was dead on arrival, unfortunately. So yeah, and our last one then is Butterfree, which is what we're going to be seeing quite a lot more of in the next few episodes.
Yep.
It's not much to say about it really. It does get like a bit of love in Sun and Moon with a Gigantamax form, which is inspired by Mothra, shockingly. I don't know, and I don't know how they got that from the design, but it's obviously it's supposed to be a butterfly. If actually the actual butterfly it's based on looks exactly like Butterfree. It's called a Aporia cartagi, or a black veined white butterfly, and if you see a picture of it here, you'll see it is quite literally Butterfree. It has white wings, black body, and it actually quite looks apart there. It's actually quite a nice looking butterfly, not gonna lie.
Very pretty.
Yeah, and there's actually like as you recall, we think we mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes, but there is like a pink butterfly variation going around.
Oh yeah.
I think we made
It's a girl.
It's a girl, yeah, exactly. So
it's for girls.
it is for
It's like,
girls.
that's like where the 99% have their in to like start liking bugs.
Yeah.
It's pink.
Yeah, it's the Butterfree is the gateway drug for bugs. Is what we're getting from that. Yeah. Excellent. So, if you're keeping up with the Pokedex, then that means our current score, because obviously we caught Beedrill, 17 seen so far and 5 caught. So not bad at all.
Yeah.
Fair to say. And that's the end of this episode, really. So one of our more infamous ones is gone. It's in the book now. We don't have to look at it again.
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
And then we just move on to another infamous episode.
In fairness, this next one is fun at least.
Yes, the hits just keep on coming, lads. We have a story of a deadbeat dad breaking the rules and doping a Pikachu, all to come.
Dun dun dun.
But until then, this has been the Jelly-Filled Donut. Feel free to subscribe for more, either on the Low Blows Network, which will be appearing every Tuesday, hopefully. And feel free to subscribe to our Monday Madness YouTube channel if you want to hear more of our thoughts or want to see us play games with various levels of quality. Until then, I have been Jonathan, that's been James, and that's been Burkbot.
See ya.
And we'll see you on the next episode. Until then.
Bye.
Bye.